Hi, so let's start with where we are right now, what we're doing, and what we should expect for this week, what trades I took the former week, and how the 10K account is looking for now. I would like to start with understanding the context of where we are on the chart right now. So basically what we did for some weeks now is we have moved upwards from 74k, which honestly it was kind of a double bottom of some overnight ranges. The classes as an overnight range is the 4 hours, the first 4 hours candles from the daily open until somewhere around the London open, and I'm trying to trade around these areas. Obviously, starting from the 74k, we can see that the move itself wasn't really based on any technicals other than the CME gap, which, to be honest, in my opinion, I still think it's going to be taken at some point. If we are thinking about ranges, we can see that we have had a sharp breakdown from 99k, right? 99.4k. We have had a ranging PA ever since all-time high to 100k, and then we moved sharply to the bottom side. So we can class this as a range from, let's say, 100k until maybe yeah, I think it's fair to say around 95k, because then we would go in the upper side of the range that is also set as a volume profile here. And so what is important to see is that when we moved from the 84k area or 80k area, we also had bullish market structure, obviously, but what's most important is that it happened at the end of a weekend. So if this happens on a weekend PA, so it's weekend price action, what this tells me is that it probably won't last in the long run, because the volume on Easter, I remember it was Easter time, and the volume in the weekend time is not big enough in order for it to be sustained for the longer term. This is why, for example, I'm not completely bullish and saying, okay, we're going to 130k, we're going to whatever Valhalla everybody thinks about. I'm still being reserved. Obviously, you can't just short and short and short and short for no reason all the time, because that won't work. Obviously, there were a lot of shorts. Obviously, I took most of my trades shorts because I am okay with them. I'm okay with taking shorts. I'm also okay with taking longs, nevertheless. So after we broke up from 84k on a weekend price action, we can see that it has been quite aggressive to the upside, right? So we pumped until like 94k without any issues, basically. There weren't many resistances, nevertheless. So that was necessary. That wasn't necessarily not expected. I expected that to some extent. Obviously, you can't expect much, but you may never know. So the current context is that we went to 96, 97k, almost 98k, and obviously had another range. We broke from that range at around 1st of May. So this is the start of May. Start of May, we broke out from the range. Let's check it once more. We broke out from the range at the 1st of May. Obviously, whenever another month starts, there are some stuff that you have to probably check around and be careful upon trading. In my opinion, this isn't really powerful. So this move here isn't really powerful. It doesn't really say anything. Obviously, there is a CME high, a CME low for today, for this week. From this point onwards, to be honest, I had a short here, which you will see very soon, and I expected that these orders that were keeping the price higher in this range would probably not trade during the weekend, and that's why I actually kept a short during the weekend. I only managed it, nothing special to it. I was just checking, and I closed it around last evening, so that I wasn't sure. Anything can happen, right? It would have gone back to 97k and take the high on the overnight range, which I do not trade, by the way. I don't trade overnight ranges. I only trade around overnight ranges, which you will see. and also the fact that it could have went lower, obviously, but that's just a 50-50 and I'm not willing to take that. Okay, so current context is we have had it's not a sharp breakdown on the weekend, but it's a decent move to the downside on the weekend. It actually took the 94.8k support that I was thinking about, which was the liquidity under this big wick and candle that took out the range, the current range. And so for now we're kind of neutral, right? What I'm looking for this start of the week is taking the weekend price action high and actually taking the CME high. Not entirely sure if it will take the overall high. This will have to be seen. In my opinion, it won't. Also, my invalidations won't be here. It will be over 99.5k because this is the pivot of the actual move down, right? This is what I care about. For the downside, I would think this CME is very important here because there is a lot of liquidity built here for whoever tried to long for 100k or maybe even higher. So 91k is pretty nice. 91k, there are some 4-hour wicks here as well, which would be great. And there is a lot of there are a lot of, it's a support and demand zone here at 89k. This is also good. Not completely sure if it will go like this. Maybe it will go like this. I'm not sure if I should expect that. I don't think I will trade for that neither, if you ask me. It could easily just take 91k as support. It could also be even worse, right, and go to 89k, maybe even 84k. Let me see where I can find the... I never use it, by the way. I never use this thing. Maybe it's about time, right? That is the brush. You should just add it. Just do it. Okay, how does it look? Okay, it's not bad. So let's say that the price will just go here and it won't do something like this. It will rather do something like this, and then it takes it as resistance. Maybe it goes here to 89k. Right, so you have this 89k scenario, which is not bad, which I will look at, but I will probably not trade it unless I take it as a take profit from a 97k short that I'm looking for this week. And there is the 84k, which kind of started the move, right? So I had the move starting on Easter weekend. I'm really expecting this to be taken, by the way, or to be maybe just to respect the market structure, right? You respect the market structure like this. You don't take these lows, but you take all the liquidity from above, because this is a really big zone that is not touched. And then this is a really important point of control of the range that we just broke out of. So this would be really good. This would be really good to see. There is also a big overnight range here that it can have its lows taken. There is a weekend point of control. It's a range point of control. Maybe even take this weekend price action, right? Weekend price action lows. I could see this happening. There is a lot of space to go to the downside. Like here, this is an important zone for the 0.7. A lot of lows to be taken. Obviously, I don't think that we're yet to breach 80k. Maybe we're not yet to breach 74k. It's not a problem. It will happen at some point. But so this is what I'm looking for this week. Moving forward, I would like to see how I can show the trades that I took this week. I usually have it through an Excel, right? So this is how I do it. I usually do it like this through a second. Okay, so I usually do it through Excel. I usually take my trades and then try to compound them and never move the stop loss further for no reason. I never compound my losing trades. I only compound the winning trades. I had only 3 trades this week. It will show us more because it took compounds, right? But nevertheless, this shouldn't be an issue. So we had 3 winning trades, 3 trades. I don't really care about merit. I don't really care about the risk reward, to be honest. I think it's risk reward is usually bullshit. It all depends on what the chart gives you, right? You can't really say, okay, I will take a 1 to 2 or 2 to 1 or whatever. It's a variable, especially when you trade discretionary. I have a system based on overnight ranges, but to be honest, I don't think that anything more than that it can be called a system. But yeah, let's see on the breakout account. Let's see how it looked. So for now we're sitting at 10.1k. Basically I have to take it to 11k in order to get funded, right? This is how it works. It was a pretty good week. There was a pretty good short from the weekend, right? Before the weekend, because I never trade weekends. I only manage positions in the weekends. So let's see exactly how it looked on the chart, right? I want to see how the trades looked on the chart. This is most important to me. This is most important to my reviews. I don't care about anything else. This is literally the most important thing. So we will go back to the trading view chart, because I don't trade on the breakout chart, as I said in the first video. And let's see exactly how we traded for this week. So I had a what's the first trade? First trade was a entry at 93,700 on Monday, right? 93,700 on Monday. Monday it was the 28. Let's put it on 30 minutes. So 93,700. This will be something like this. Let's see where I went with the trade. I usually only trade New York. So if I usually only trade New York, okay, 93,700. I'm checking the breakout account right now to see exactly where I took the trade. 93,700 position opened. So it was 20, so 8 p.m. my time. 8 p.m. my time. 8 p.m. my time, something like this, right? So something like this. Let me take this off. Let's have it brush. Now the brush to be, how do I even change it? I never use this, so I have no idea. Okay, sure. So let's say this is a buy, right? This is a buy. Wait. So you have this buy, 93,700, something like this. 93,700, it should be something like this. This is first buy, 93,700, and then after buying there, I compounded at 94,700 and at 94,900. When was this? So we had 93,700, and then I compounded at 10:20 p.m. my time, 94,700. 94,700 at 10. So it should be around here. So this is the compound here. This is the compound. So I guess what I thought is the following. I have this New York session still retesting the overnight range. The overnight range actually took the weekend PA low and high on the London session. So this means that we will probably have a pretty big volatility week, where we had a decently volatile week. I still thought we were bullish because I thought we still have some way to go until 97k. 97k. So what I did is buy here. I compounded because I thought we would go higher here, and then we did go higher on the overnight range and during the night, but this didn't help much, right? So obviously I didn't take the profit here. So let's see, I had another 0.01 addition at 94,900. Let me see exactly when this happened. It happened at London session on 29th. So usually if I have a trade management, I usually do it as well on London. This is basically a trade management trade, right? it's nothing like a starter. I usually only start trades on New York session. This is the most important thing to keep in mind. So something like this, right? Something like this, 94,800. So this is pretty much it. These are my 3 entrances for one trade. I expected it to go higher, it didn't, and that's absolutely fine. I saw this PA here and I said, okay, this is not going to work out. So where I closed my trade is around here. So I said, okay, this is not going to work out, no problem. I went out on a profit, not a big profit, it doesn't matter. It was around $40, and it's pretty good profit, 0.4%. It's really good. Then this week I had another trade. So basically the first trade was pretty good. The idea was going higher. It didn't go higher when I wanted it to. So basically on Tuesday to Wednesday, it's fine. It's not much of a big deal, right? Worst case scenario, put your stop loss at break even, it's whatever. The way I trade is I'm going for higher gains based on pretty small position. My opinion is this is the best way to trade for me. I'm not saying it's the best way to trade at all. It's just the way I'm trading, right? So let's see. The next trade was on Wednesday. It was a long as well. But I wasn't completely okay with this trade. I remember it. So it's from 93,800 Wednesday. I remember that I will say exactly what I didn't like about it. So 1649. Yeah, I remember this. So what happened is that the chart broke to the downside here, and obviously I had my stop loss here, because I thought that if we take the low that actually took out the weekend price action low, then we would go lower, which it didn't happen obviously, but it was very close to taking me out. Now the problem that what I did here is I took the long here before waiting the 5 p.m. so basically the B session. This is pretty bad. I should have waited for the B session here before taking the trade. Nevertheless, it was a winner, but it still doesn't matter. This is what was a pretty bad trade here. And after that, I also compounded it around here, just a bit higher, right? I compounded it. I had a pretty big one, a pretty big position, but then I closed the initial position because it was too high, to be honest. Nevertheless, I closed it at I don't even remember exactly where I closed it. Let me see. 94,500. 94,500 should have been around here, right? Yeah, so I didn't know exactly where it was going to go, right? 94,500 at 12:40 p.m. on the first, so around here. Yeah, so here is where I closed it. Obviously it's not the best, but I thought you don't know what's going to happen, right? The PA was so sluggish. It seemed like there was no more push-up power, and having this push here, I don't know, it doesn't look good to me, in my opinion, for the bulls. But this is my opinion. It all depends on whether this low is going to be taken, or these lows are going to be taken or not. Because if these lows are going to be taken here, I'm expecting the chart to go much lower, by the way, or lower at all. So I have 2 winning trades, obviously not big trades. First one was okay. Second one could have been way better, but I didn't want to take the risk. In my opinion, I got to the idea that de-risking, especially before overnight range, is way better, right? So this de-risking is better than profit. Always keep this in mind. De-risking is better than profit. Profit means nothing if your risk is enormous. So take less risks. Okay, so there is one more trade that I took at around 97k on Thursday. So 96,900. Let me see exactly where I took it. 96,900 should be 96,900 should be on 8. So it's like 6 p.m. my time, right? 6 p.m. my time should be around here. So 6 p.m. my time. Let's have this 96,900, something like this, right? Let's have this with red because it was short. 96,900 there, and then we had the London session on Friday, 96,700. 96,700 around 13, right? So around here, something around here. So this was the compound first and the compound. So what I expected is I've put the stop loss over 99,400 because I thought, okay, listen, if this goes higher, I'll just take the risk if we take that pivot or not. We had some movement to the upside, but I really didn't believe in it. So I like I said formerly, what I did was I was waiting for the weekend to settle the fact that most of these people that are trading here, like, they either started taking profits or they said, okay, we're not trading weekend because they like US being closed, and obviously the normal S&P and everything and Nasdaq being closed for the weekend. Like, big people don't trade weekends, right? And this is a big important factor. If you know that most of the important hands don't trade the weekend, you can expect somewhat for the moves to be reversed, because there will be nobody keeping this price up. It was already sluggish, right? So let's say all the longs, or all the people keeping the longs up and keeping the price up, will not trade weekend. We'll have some sluggish move to the downside, which happened, right? And I took advantage of this. I closed the trade around here. So I had a pretty good trade. This was a pretty good trade. It was pretty much about the same as the first one, because there were a lot of commissions, as I said, with Breakout, a lot of financing and so on. But I didn't want to take it lower because I had no idea whether it would go lower or not. And actually it wasn't here. It was around here. It was around here. Yeah, somewhere around here. Nevertheless, I didn't want to take it lower. I didn't know if it would go up and take my full profits off, which were pretty decent, I would guess, and I didn't want to have that because I wanted to, and I still want to short this once more. I had no idea if it would go lower. It's overnight range. I don't touch this. I only watch it. Okay. So what I want to do right now is that I want to wait for the New York session and see if I can short something around here. This would be great, right? So shorting here would be good, or I would just look in order to see what happens with this overnight range on New York session. Because, for example, let's say we're moving to here, it's nothing happening, right? So if this happens, it's nothing happening. We don't even go into the CME high for a while, and then we just retest the overnight range, right? We could retest overnight range. To be honest, this pretty good week. I wouldn't like this week to be taken. I would probably look for a long around here. Let's see the 4 hour. The 4 hour, yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying. This is pretty nice. This is looking pretty good. So around 94k. Let's see if we can get a trade around 94k. Like okay, yeah, this makes some sense. I would really like to see this moving like until here. Maybe we do something like this, and then maybe take this trade from here, and let me have it green, right? Take this trade from here and see if we can take it to here, maybe compound it around here and move it to CME high, right? And then we will see if it's worth to short, even though I wouldn't short this depending on how fast it goes here. So yeah, I hope this helped. It was a fun week for me. I think this week will show some volatility. Obviously, it will be interesting to see if there will be volatility or not. Nevertheless, this is basically my plan. I'm just waiting to see what happens on the New York, especially on Monday. I'm not expecting that Monday will be. I mean, it could be very volatile, right? We have seen it from right of the get-go from weekend, some volatility. I'm not sure. We will see. For now, I'm just looking for this short, for this long, and if it doesn't even get here and we're gonna get a big move out of the overnight high, if we're gonna get a big move overnight high from here, it's still good. So you can compound here. It's the exact same idea. So yeah, thank you for watching, and see you to the next week's review. Thank you. Take care.